Well, now it is Austin officially doing the quiet quitting. We have Grant here though.
You know what? I'm telling you, it's all about the rotation. We're more like a bullpen where we kind of rotate through. Some guys need
Absolutely.
some rest days. It's a well-oiled machine.
There's no official starter on others.
No,
Everybody,
we
hot
just got
hand.
three. We just have three okay pitchers.
Pretty spot on, unfortunately.
There's no ace. It's just three guys who are like, nah, they're fine.
Yeah, it is what it is.
We lean on the chat to score some runs. It's just what it is.
Absolutely. Yeah, so chat definitely get popping tonight because we need somebody to fill in for the guy that actually just comes in here in the chat.
There he is.
I mean,
There-
what is the show without making fun of one of us for missing a show?
It's too fun and easy when you can't defend yourself. We said that about you when you missed. I've heard it
Hmm.
from you guys. It's too easy. It's too fun.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean,
So it never worked out, and I'm really disappointed because I saw a really funny meme, and I was gonna just prank you pretty hard, but you don't have any good personal tailgate pictures or coyote pictures of yourself on any profile. So what I was gonna do, I saw it where it said Coach so and so, and then big bold letters underneath, fired, and then little words underneath. And I want to do that for you because underneath it says fired up for the upcoming season or whatever. And I want to post that and just get everybody fired up.
you know what? That is funny and true. I mean, we are now 2 shows away. So 2 weeks from today, we will be talking about a Coyote football game happening
Our
48 hours after that. That is nuts.
less than 48 hours for sure.
Yeah, that's true. Less than 48 hours. And then next week, we're going to drop probably the most popular non in season show,
Hmm.
previewing it, giving the whole breakdown. And spoiler
And
alert, we're going to break down the Coyote record or the Coyote schedule as usual, but little bonus this year with the whole Missouri Valley.
yeah, we're going deep. We're going to go week by week. As you guys know, we're big fans of the slide approach. So we're going to be rocking our predictions. Now, we're not going to go I think UND is going to, never mind. UND is going to lose this game because so and so, whatever. It's just going to be our prediction of it. And then at the end of the show, you will see our Missouri Valley rankings and we'll see how it goes.
Exactly. But that's for next week. Tonight, we're going over the depth chart, which is an equally interesting show, in my opinion. And for everybody who doesn't know, Jake is the depth chart guru.
I'm definitely not the slides guru right now. Um, there's no, there's the back. All right. Yeah, no, I wouldn't call myself a guru by any means whatsoever. But do I have the depth chart fully memorized, height, weight, and year? Darn near,
Maybe.
yeah. By the
I go
time
to
this
like
countdown's done,
any player question, I hit you in the message in the group chat, and you already know the answer. I don't have to look it up. It's answered by
mhm,
Jake. But anyways, I digress. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Go through the
we are.
slides. We've got some
Let's do it.
announcements.
Well, first and foremost, I actually just had a fantastic conversation. We are presented by Northwestern Mutual. Very excited about this partnership. We're still building it up to see exactly what that looks like on both ends, but I'm so fired up for this. And I just had a fantastic call with Kristen, the rep that I've been working with on Alex's lemonade stand. And I
Yes.
ran by some ideas with her, and I'm actually going to throw out what I'm thinking about now in the video. So anybody that's listening, whether it's live or recording, and you want to get involved in this and more than just the Jello shots approach like we've been doing, hit me up. And so with my idea that I have is I really want to blow out because what we did last season to start the first game was I had a silent sponsor on it, and I was told I had to sell 100 Jello shots at tailgate, and they would donate $1,000. Well, we peddled Jello shots like crazy. My kids are pumped up for this again, but they were throwing Jello shots everywhere. We racked up our own like $1,200 that game, and then we also had the $1,000 match, and that sparked an idea in me, and especially any Coyotes that have run their own business and want to get their business name out there, I want to do sponsored tailgates. And so what that looks like is I'll come to you with match or challenge ideas, whether it is, pedal 100 jello shots, hit $1,200, $1,500 raise. And that is a match on your part, or that is you'll donate the 1,000, 2,000, whatever number you want to do and get involved in. You hit me up. I'm looking for at least 6 sponsors, but we know we're going to be tailgating well into December and January. We're going to have some fun with this. So hit me up, whether you shoot a DM or if you have my number, love to get you involved.
Yeah, it'd be really fun to have 6 unique sponsors for all 6 home games. I think that'd be a lot of fun. And to your point, we're going to have more than likely we're going to have some hopefully hosted playoff games, which can expand that. So, love the idea.
Absolutely. All right, let's keep moving. What's the easiest way to get a beer at tailgate, Grant?
One, show up. Number 2 is if you're wearing either one of these shirts and you come to my tailgate or your tailgate, that's a no-brainer, automatic free beer. So, shirts, merch, still for sale. Defend the Dome is the new one this year. Has the back to pack logo small in the back. Yeah, so we're looking forward to it. Shirts, which in our defense, the Defend the Dome one is pretty awesome. We're of course biased, but my sister gives me updates periodically. For those that don't know, the site that it takes you to is my sister's business. That's how we're able to coordinate this. If you do order a shirt, you'll notice you get it extremely fast because they're coming from Minneapolis. So depending on how close you live, you could literally order it and get it the next day. So I'm sure you're seeing some of that, but she's the one who fulfills the orders on it. But we have already had a lot more orders than we did last year, and we're just getting started on this. So keep the orders coming. I think it's cool. Would love to see a lot of people with the Defend the Dome on their shirts. Guess not the first game. First game's a blackout, but the remainder games, would love to see it.
Here's the thing: do what I do. I'm a wardrobe change kind of guy. I rock the backpack shirt all tailgate. Love to get the name out there. It gets people interacting. Man, I tell you what, walking through tailgate is awesome. Getting the high fives dabbed up on it with, "Oh, you're one of the hosts. We love your show. We love listening to you." It means the absolute world. And every little bit of support that we get from everybody that watches, follows along, it honestly means the world to us. And again, like I say, we're going to keep doing this until that number in the top left of this screen says 0.
Yep. I was going to say, we get to grin like idiots when you come and tell us, hey, listen to the show. And then our wives get to roll their eyes, and it's great. It's a win-win.
Absolutely. And that actually reminds me, I just remember the story. We got to give a shout out to a fan of the show, Steve Nelson. Funny enough, we were both in Boji at the same time, but that isn't part of the story. I get a text from him, though. He's like, "Hey, I was just walking through Arnold's Park rocking the back to pack shirt. And I had somebody come up to me and go, 'Hey, you one of the hosts of the show?' And he goes, 'No, I'm not, but just a big fan.' He goes, 'Oh, yeah, that's a great show.' And
you never know. You never know where.
You never know. That's why you recruit out of state right there. You get this Coyote interactions away from South Dakota.
I love it.
But yeah, I'll even share my special beer, the Busch Light Limes, top-notch beers, but make sure you show up. And I got to hit on this question here. If he's wearing 6 shirts at the same time, I'll give you a choice. If you're wearing 6 shirts at the same time, I'll rock a normal 6-pack for you, or I'll go get a 4-pack of Legacy beer from 19 Brewing. I know it's only 4, but they're pounders, and it is a Coyote back, or a beer that backs USD.
I was gonna say, if you wear 6 shirts, that's 6 beers, but you have to shotgun them. So, so your idea is a lot nicer than mine, but
it is. All right, let's keep rolling through here.
I was gonna say one other one.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yote Fan, sounds like, I know Yote Fan was one of the first ones to get his shirt, so big shout out to you. But he gives a thumbs up on the quality of the shirt too, for those wondering. So,
and you know what? We've had it for 2 years now, a year and a half on shirts. And mine still is holding up fantastically. And it's a big logo. So
it is.
I'm really happy with how well your sister's done with these shirts. So, all right, let's keep rolling through here, though, because we got a long night. But you got to get your tickets. You can't, don't just show up to tailgate and not go to the game, right?
Oh yeah, that's that's a
No, that's a,
non-negotiable. If you're to tailgate, you're already 90% of the way there. You might be 95% of the way there. So
yeah.
got to go into the dome. Got to go to the game. But if you're listening to this show and you still don't have tickets, I'm a little concerned for you. But it's not too late. You can still get tickets. You can still get really good tickets. You can get season tickets. You got
Yep.
mini packs. They got all sorts of options for us at this point in the season. So go check it out if for some reason you don't have your tickets teed up already. Uh, we just got the email, I believe, today that was showing all the different options there are: mini plans, single games. And I have noticed some of those single games are filling up quick.
Absolutely. And also don't forget the junior coyotes. $65 gets them a ticket to every game except for D-Days. But wait, there's more. Gets them to every basketball game except for SDSU. But wait, there's more. Gets them to every volleyball game at home. It's a heck of a deal, and it's a great way to get your kids involved early.
All right. Since you brought it up, I have to
Oh,
admit
jeez.
something. So I bought that today, just bought it for
Mm-hmm.
the 3 kids. I somehow must have missed this in the past because it's a no-brainer, like you just
Yeah,
said. You get to
it's a
do every
steal.
event. Like you have to just go to like 2 coyote events for this thing to pay for it, to pay for itself, and the
Mm-hmm.
kids get involved. Big miss on my part, but I saw it this year finally, and I'm like, how have I missed out on this? So shout out to Jaron and his team, who are, I know, do a lot of work putting that all together. But I'll take some blame. In the past, did not get it. Got it locked in today, this afternoon. We're good.
Let's go. All right. Now, this one actually, like, I had to go back and re-edit slides because of how recent this news is.
This
And
is hot off the
I,
press.
hot off the press, and I am going to butcher this name, and I apologize to our new commit here, but I believe it's Body Ing, which would be a sweet linebacker name or a hockey player name, just saying. But he's a kicker transferring in from Ventura with 4 years of eligibility. He went 12 of 19 on field goals with a long of 43 last season and 58 of 60 on PATs. Now, he only kicked for 1 year, and he is coming in with 4 years of eligibility as well. So, welcome our new coyote.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Which I should have probably moved our last slide to the next one just so we could have more conversation on this. But
We'll just bring it full
we'll
circle.
bring him back.
Yeah.
But we got to give a shout out to our sponsor, JJ's Wine, Spirit, and Cigars here in Sioux Falls. I am definitely going to be doing a lot of shopping here in the near future, especially. They got all the premium booze that you'd need, whether it's beer, liquor, or wine. It's all there. Their cigars are top notch as well. Stop in and let them know Back to Pack sent you. All right, but time to roll into the meat of this show. We're going to be doing a little depth chart talk. And I am going to advise everyone that listens to the show, we still have no idea what the heck's going on, except for this page. I think we can confidently go through this one.
Yes.
But as we go through all the others, it definitely gets cloudier and cloudier. This is just our opinions without any backed facts or information relayed to us. So, without further ado, we get into the running back room. Grant, who's your starting running back?
I believe I know this one. I believe this is a Walter Payton preseason watch list man. I think this is going to be the Missouri Valley rushing leader at the end of the season. It's Charles Pierre Jr. is our RB number one. You could argue the best running back in the country.
Oh, absolutely. Not only is it the best running back in the country, but then we also got the best running back room in the nation. It is deep. This list is long, and I could go through each one of them and tell you what they bring to the table. But you're correct. Charles is going to be our starter here. And we all know who number 2 is by name, and it's going to be key. I'm really excited to have both these players who missed all of last season pretty much back. I know they're hungry. If you want to find out how hungry they are, go and watch our show with them. They were a blast to hang out with.
Mm-hmm.
But this room is deep, and we will have 4 running backs touching the ball. And that is also going to include Carson Fletcher, who was a freshman phenom,
Yes.
preferred walk-on, comes out of nowhere. Now, obviously, injuries played a huge part in that, but
Of
that
course.
kid also made it difficult to keep him off the field.
Yes, that's exactly right. I was going to make the same comment. I am so excited for CP and Key to come back after last year, right? I mean, those two guys so disappointed they had to miss last year. So excited, but to your point, we're going to see four, maybe five, four for
Mhm.
sure. We're going to see four ball carriers, Carson Fletcher, and then Reed Watkins is also going to be in the mix. Um, but this is as
Absolutely.
deep as a room as we have on the whole team.
Now, I've been hearing a lot of good things about Reed, and we got to see him in a limited capacity last season.
Mm-hmm.
I think he brings kind of a different playmaker skill. You're not going to compare him to Key, but he's not going to be a downhill runner like LJ. You just give him some space, and he's going to make some magic happen. So I'm really curious what that looks like. And then I've heard Courtney Rivers has turned some heads in practice, but true freshman in, like I said, the deepest room in the country. It's going to be hard for either one of those guys to see the field, but I'm really excited about their futures.
Yeah, if you're a young guy in that room, you're just excited to see you get to see what it's going to take to be a top tier running back in the Missouri Valley Football Conference.
Hmm.
Um, and you're going to get to see it every day. So uh,
Absolutely.
you're 100% on that too.
Yeah, I think my only note for those guys, instead of bringing shoulder pads to practice, bring notepads and pens.
There you go.
Write down everything you learn on there because you're in great hands. Enjoy the ride.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll go ahead and flip it to the wide receiver room, which does get deeper as we go here. It's deeper than most people think. It's
Mm-hmm.
just some unproven talent in there, in a certain sense. I think I can go through and name the starting three, though. And I think that one seems pretty easy. And I think anybody that's followed the show closely can do it too. But that's going to be our boy Bose repping at Media Days. Then we're going to rock Tanel Bryant in the slot. And I think the name that everybody should be watching, and we've heard it time and again, is Braden White, redshirt
Mm-hmm.
freshman. He's going to be big time.
Yeah, those, when you look at this list, those are the three that I also feel confident about. Um, we heard Coach last week talk about Braden White. We actually talked about him and the whole red shirt rule or red shirt change rule to the eligibility and how they were
Yeah.
kind of saving that. Had we known what the future was going to hold, maybe he would have played in even more games last year. Um, but he, of course, was a guy who made an immediate impact in the UND game when he kind of made his debut last year. So I'm with you on those three. Uh,
Hmm.
to that point, you can see still a deep room, a
Yeah.
lot of young guys. You're seeing a lot of freshmen, a lot of redshirt freshmen on this list, right? Um, but Bryce Cohoon is another one that we heard Coach talk about as well. So I expect him um, to be in that mix of those other three. Um,
Absolutely.
and then naturally somebody else is going to step up out of this group. Usually five seems to be the number. Some of these other guys are going to get their opportunities.
Yeah. And that's a great point. Bryce, yeah, coach brought him up last week. So it's definitely a name to watch. Plus, bringing in that P5 talent and a junior, he's definitely been around the block. He knows what to do, he knows how to go about his business. I think he brings some expertise to it, some experience to it. I think that's a good one. The part where I struggle when it comes to depth chart talk, there are three different wide receivers here. And
Mm-hmm.
it's hard for me to go through and say, well, this person slots in behind Bose because it's similar. And I kind of go into the builds of them to match up. And another name we heard coming out from coach was Dylan Malone, if I
Mm-hmm.
believe, if I'm saying his name correctly.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that is a guy that could, based off his build, fit right in behind Bose to relieve some of his snaps there. And then a freshman name, coach also brought up was DJ Howard, and I think he would slot in perfectly right behind White or Bryant, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So I think those are your six names to watch. But one name or I'll give you two names that I think could make an impact later on or throughout the season that we might not have heard of, and I think they'll be a factor. The first one's going to be Andre Jacobs. He keeps showing up in pretty much every football post that they're putting out. I don't. He's a goofy guy. He's a fun guy. I think he's probably one of the most lighthearted guys on the team, who definitely brings a lot of fun to the atmosphere. But I think he's going to be a factor in some snaps. And then another guy I really like is Troy Bowding. He's been a special teams go-to guy.
Hmm.
He's been involved in every game pretty much. But it would be awesome to see if he can work his way onto the field for a couple snaps.
Yeah, I think when you zoom out a little bit, the national media picture, guys that aren't familiar with USD, this is the room that probably has the most question marks to your point too, Jake. I wouldn't say question marks around talent. It's just unproven talent right to this point. So uh, I'm looking forward to see who's going to step up. But um, I think you and I are probably a little more bullish on it than most folks are on the national landscape for sure.
Absolutely. So I'll do a quick salesman pitch on this, and then we'll move on to the wide receiver. This is going to focus directly on the starting three. Bose came on hot at the end of the season. He was actually one of our better receivers in the room, and that's with the best receiver in the nation, FCS Nation. Uh, he really performed well in Mercer. And I think what comes down to it more than anything with him is the coaches finally figured out how to utilize him. He was a fantastic screen. You and I saw it. He took it
Hmm.
to the house at Mercer. But then they also found that he is a good across the middle kind of receiver.
Yep.
He'll find that pocket in the defense and make sure the quarterback sees him. And he's going to utilize that well. So he could be a guy that could, in part average about 15 yards a catch just because he'll find that soft spot in the zone and make his numbers known.
Hmm.
Tanel Bryant is the one that I want to sell everybody on more than anything. A name that stands out in the past, especially for the folks that have been following closely, is Kron Adams. And it's very easy to compare them because they're very similar builds and they are just electric. These guys are super fast. I can tell you why Bryant had a rough season compared to what Adams did. And it's as easy as just looking in the backfield. We did not have that second electric player in key when it was Bryant's turn. And that's why Adams had such a big impact on the offense. And I can see Bryant having a very similar impact. Get this guy a ball in space, and he's gone.
Hmm.
Braden White, he's going to be our possession receiver, and he will absolutely tear it up. His routes are some of the cleanest things I've ever seen. The few practices I've watched of him and then just seeing him in game film, he knows how to create space quickly, and he's going to be that guy that the quarterback can feel very confident finding on every play. So, redshirt freshman had a ton of talent, and like Coach said, they're kicking themselves, but that rule didn't come out for the redshirt 5-for-5. So obviously, no harm, no foul on that. But I think he's going to be a major impact on the wide receiver room. All right. Let's go ahead and flip it to the tight end room. I know we're all excited about these guys here.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Tight end room is very similar to the wide receiver room. I think it's looking for somebody to kind of break through. At least in my opinion, we're really looking for somebody to break through this season. Um, we all got a little spoiled with JJ, right? Galbraith is
Little.
will go down as one of the better tight ends that's ever played at USD. So looking to replace somebody like that is a massive task and maybe an unfair task, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we have a lot of depth at this position.
Yes.
But again, a lot of kind of unproven talent to this point. No one's like a bona fide starter like we kind of see in the running back room or some of the other position groups we're going to go over.
Well, and I think we still have a bona fide starter here, and that's going to be Jesse Miller.
Hmm.
He's still been trusty. He's a guy that we can lean on fairly often. He doesn't wow you with his stats by any means, but he is a guy that means a ton to this team, and I think he's ready to take that next step and be that proven commodity for us at the tight end room.
Hmm.
But I'm going to tell you right here and right now, aside from Cooper Crawford and Caden Matheny, if I said that wrong, I apologize. They're probably not going to see the field just because they're true freshmen. But I guarantee we will see every single one of these tight ends on the field at one point or another.
Mm-hmm.
A name that's sneaking out of camp quite a bit is Chris Herron, uh, redshirt freshman. Pulled him out of Terre Haute, Indiana. Hey, I think there's a team up there that beat SDSU. But, anyways, he had an opportunity. And if we'll get to the next page on quarterback, and if Austin's our guy, they spent their freshman year together. They
Mm-hmm.
have some chemistry built up compared to what he might have with other people. I've seen some pretty sweet stuff, and I know there was a beautiful dime to Chris in the scrimmage. So just a name to keep an eye on. But I think our two main guys coming out of this room are going to be Jesse and Mason Cowgill. But there'll be other names.
Yeah, I think there will be. One thing to keep in mind too is that based off of what we think we're going to do this year, which is run the football, right? With the running back room that we have, um, we're gonna use a lot of tight ends, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna use different sets that are going to involve a lot of tight ends, and they may not be going out for a pass when they get in there, but we're going to need multiple folks out of this room. So, wouldn't surprise me to see us utilize 4 tight ends pretty regularly, depending on formations, rotations,
Yeah.
what we're trying to accomplish. So this is another room that'll be really interesting to see who's getting involved where and who kind of carves out their role. But you're right. I
Mm-hmm.
think the proven commodity is Jesse Miller for sure. Um, and then I'm really curious to see how the rest, like you said, a lot of young guys in this room too, right? There's
Yep.
not an overwhelming amount, um, of upperclassmen, if we can even call them that anymore. But
Absolutely.
this is a very interesting room, but we're going to see a lot of guys get involved.
Yes. Now, I want to preface this by saying all these screen grabs that I have here actually are courtesy of Inside the Pack.
Great
Check out the
website if you
roster
haven't been
page.
there.
Oh, fantastic website. Shout out to our man Austin for building this, but the roster page is awesome. He made life so easy for me on this show,
Hmm.
and he's not even here. I can actually break it down by position on the roster, and that's where all the screen grabs come from that you're seeing here.
Hmm.
It is really cool, and I can even break it down on a class basis as well. So check out Inside the Pack, and don't forget to sign up so you can be a part of the forums. Because, like I said in my tweet, I'm getting sick of, or I don't know if I'm getting sick of it or if it's Grant and Austin getting sick of me trying to talk about football and they're trying to work. So
Can
who
it be
knows?
all the above? I mean, I
I
think
think
it's
it's
it
all
can
the
be
above.
all things can be true at the same time sometimes, right?
Absolutely. All right, let's flip it to what is this the most important room in college football?
I yes, in the Missouri Valley, yeah.
Yes. Okay. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to name my potential starters. And this, again, is my thought. And that's it. Roast me in the chat if you want. But we'll go through. Left tackle is going to be Cade Ellingson, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Been an anchor for this team. He's played a ton and then got hurt last season. It was supposed to be his O-line room last year, but he didn't get his opportunity. So this year's his time. Left guard is going to be Jake Utley. Kid coming in from UTEP, got to play quite a few games for them last season and started a few. I think he's going to be a major factor and he's going to move some mass around. Center is interesting. I, I think it's going to go to our boy Grant Chapman. Like Coach brought up, guy that's been really taking that next step, not just as an individual player, but as a leader. I love how he's calling out defenses. That definitely gives me starter vibes right away there.
Hmm.
Right guard gets a little tricky because I think it's going to be Nick Herzog on this one. I think. But Lucas Feldkamp could put in some time on there. And that's the perks of having two guys. And there's two guys in pretty much every position here. But that means a ton to have that kind of depth. And then at right tackle, wouldn't surprise me if it's Brock Wolf. Started a ton last season. I think he's going to be a factor there. Sorry, I'm also watching the chat on the side here.
Hmm.
But those are going to be, I think, in my opinion, the 5 starters. And I even need to do a little changing on the depth chart on the website.
Yeah, I think to Coach's point from last week, they feel really good, uh, really confident about 8 to 9 guys. As we know in this particular league, you have to have that many guys that you feel really good about being able to play multiple positions, be able to answer the bell. We saw it last year. We saw a lot of guys step up and answer the bell. Um, so I think he's got a similar feeling this year.
Yep.
What you just named, I know we've talked about, you know, uh, before the show. Feel good about those. I'm going to throw out one that's interesting, and it's really maybe not a secret if you're really keeping track of the roster, but we keep hearing about Lucas Feldkamp
Yep.
being a guy who is just impressing everyone, coaches, players, and that's a redshirt freshman
Yes,
out of
absolutely.
Brandon. So he is one that is really, it sounds like is going to be in that rotation from all the positive feedback that we've had, which is incredible for a redshirt freshman. Especially in the O line, it just seems like one of those groups that the development takes a little bit longer for that type of position group. So,
Absolutely.
um, again, I feel like we keep saying it over and over again, but this is another group that if you're just scanning rosters, you're not following it very closely. You're looking at this and going, man, they lost a lot.
Yep.
Um, but similar, one thing that is not similar to the wide receiver and tight end room is that we do have a lot of upperclassmen. We're looking at a lot of juniors and seniors that are experienced guys,
Hmm.
been in the program a long time, have seen snaps in prior seasons, maybe not necessarily in a starting role right away, but ended up there or played in a lot of meaningful snaps throughout the year.
Yep.
So this is a group that I actually have a lot of confidence in.
Yes. And I agree with you. And I've given some national podcasts some hard time. So if they're watching, I hope they're listening on this part. But what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to sell you guys on our O line room just as a whole. And we're going to start just right through. There you go. I love it.
Say just to point out, look at the
Hmm.
size of these guys too.
Oh,
Just about
absolutely.
every number starts with a 3. And there it is. Mass moves ass, right? That's
Absolutely.
where it's at. Um, we'll get to this soon. Austin says not so fast. D line might be more important, and there's an argument to be made there, and we'll get there.
Hey, here's the thing. Aside from, I don't want to call it a strip sack, but a tackle fumble for a touchdown, the D line doesn't score points, but the guy that these guys are protecting, do. And points win games. Just saying. All right, but selling point here on our O line room. Angelo coming in from Portland State. He started 4 games as a true freshman in the Big Sky. Transferred in. Very excited about him. Brendan Crisp. It is Crisp, not Crispy, but if you want to call him that, I don't think he'd get upset. Played a ton of snaps last season. I
Mhm.
could actually see him putting in some work at either tackle position. You guys already know about Brock Wolf. Started a ton of games. Was Missouri Valley O lineman of the week even
Mhm.
until he puked on our turf. But hey, side fact.
That was a good viral clip for us too. That
That was a
actually,
good viral clip. Yeah,
that
you
was a
got
good one.
and then we all know about Caden Ellingson putting in a ton of work, played a ton of snaps. Very excited about him. We get to our freshman class. Unfortunately, I am going to skip over them. I love these guys, but we're a year out from them. It's hard to get it on the field as a true freshman. If there is somebody that could get some playing time, though, I got to give a shout out to Dustin Cochran just because he did come in early. He enrolled in January, so that is a big factor. Now we'll get to Grant Chapman. We already heard how coach feels about him. He's played a ton of snaps. He was our backup center last season, but he's played a ton last year. So I'm very excited about what he does. Jack Ron's got in on the rotation last season. We'll go to Jake Gow, who's a freshman. And if you want to be recruited by USD, especially O line, be named Jake. You got a great shot at it.
I mean, 25, what 20% of this list are Jake's. That's
Absolutely.
great.
So then we get to Riggs, also from UTEP. Got to play quite a few snaps for them as well. I think he'll be a factor in the guards position. You already know about Jake Utley. Javion Kelly, true freshman out of Minnesota, very excited about him. And then you've heard about Lucas Feldkamp and Nick Herzog. Their names I'm very excited about. Nick started a few games at Northwestern, not Northwestern in Orange City, but Northwestern, Illinois. So he's got some Big Ten experience. Parker Maloney, true freshman. Shoot, gotta go back. So doubt we'll see some time. But Sam Hawker got a few snaps last season as well. I've been seeing his name popping up too. So I can sell you on this room. They're going to be big time. Just wait and see. But to the guy that they're protecting, and I almost didn't put the slide in, and that's why it was halfway or at the last part of offense. I don't want to stir anything, and that's no knock. I truly believe that you give the ball to Nevin, you give the ball to Jackson, and you give the ball to Austin every game, we're gonna win 10 games regardless. I don't think each one of them brings a different piece to the offense that could be a huge factor into the game. But I think everything we're seeing, I think Majeski's going to be our guy.
Yeah, this is the room everybody's been talking about, and I think as we've seen more and more practices, more reports, we're seeing Austin running with the ones a lot. We're seeing a lot of highlights. We're seeing some really impressive throws from him. I think you're right. I think he's QB1. The one caveat I have to say about this is that I cannot foresee a scenario where we're not using a combination of Austin and Jackson or Austin and Nevin with
Yes,
certain packages, because to your point, their skill sets are so different, that quite frankly, I think it'd be wasteful to have those guys just sitting on the sidelines. So I
absolutely.
fully, as it sits today, like I said, I'm with you on that. I think Austin's QB1. I think Jackson Proctor is probably quote unquote QB2.
Hmm.
Um, but I would love to see what the coaches are going to dial up for him, whether it's an RPO. Um, we've seen the production he had at Dartmouth. I'm really excited to see what they do. Um, and if it does end up being Austin, which we both think it is, it's always exciting to see a redshirt freshman get out there and show us what kind of talent's out there. Sounds like the
Absolutely.
talent's undeniable. We've seen the tape from high school. He's Gatorade player, two-time Gatorade player of the year coming out of Colorado. Um, Man, it's hard not to be excited.
Well, and the thing you got to add to that two-time Gatorade Player of the Year, he also left with the record book showing a lot of his name all over it.
Yeah,
But he did this at the highest level of Colorado football.
highest level.
And Colorado is not it's not a pushover by any means when it comes to talent. They pump out not just quality FBS and FCS talent, but they pump out NFL talent pretty
Hmm.
well. And I know he faced some corners that not only will show up in the FCS level, but he's faced corners that have showed up in the FBS level as well.
Hmm.
The only thing I'll preface this by what sold me on him, besides watching his high school film, you guys already know the story. I brought it up with him on the show, but he was an early enrollee last year.
Hmm.
And at family day, I remember telling you guys, and you remember the story too. But he was opposite hash of us, and they were doing quarterback drops, and the receiver was running a 10-yard out right to us. And there was corner. There was not any D line pressure by any means on this, but there was corner on wide receiver, and there was no room for this ball to go. And Austin still found a way to put it on a rope to exactly where the receiver could catch it and no one else. A 10-yard out is one of the hardest throws to make in any level of football. And for him to step up and do it with college talent as a true freshman who should be getting ready for prom at this point, to be honest,
Right.
it's definitely it got you guys to turn your heads very quickly.
Yeah, I think the talent's undeniable, right? I think
Yes.
that's always been the case too, and that's always the case when you recruit uh, any quarterback, right? I
Yep.
mean, it's fiercely competitive, and it's the hardest position in football to play. Um, Shout out to Patrick to Patrick Greason. He's another guy
Yes,
who talent's undeniable, right? He'll get his opportunity, of course, but um, yeah, I think his arm just jumps off the page. Um, really excited to see what that looks like. But again, I don't want people to discount there's going to be multiple quarterbacks involved, and we know how creative, um, how creative Coach Mo can get with some of that stuff. We've seen it in the past, so I'm actually looking forward to see what we have teed up for both these guys.
absolutely. And you brought it up, and one thing I'm going to say, I truly wish, kind of, Austin had a redshirt sophomore next to his name because the talent that Patrick Greason brings is phenomenal as well. And I don't, when that time comes where it's time for Austin to pass the torch down to Patrick, we're not going to skip a beat. Like, I'm very pumped with what he can bring in the future.
Mm. Iron sharpens iron, right?
Absolutely. All right, we got to keep rolling through this. Now, quote unquote, Austin's favorite or best room is the D line room, which, you know what? We got some deep, deep room here in the D line room. It's going to be tricky to name these four, but I think I'm going to go through and do the starters for us on this. Now, LePerry's easy name to jump to on the end. Showed up in Missouri Valley. Coach has already been talking about him quite a bit. I feel like that's a given. The next is Big Dixon in the gap. Chris Dixon is a legend. He's going to have
Hmm.
a big year. And I'm really excited to see what he can do now full time on that. Next one that's being thrown around quite a bit is going to be our boy John Starman coming in from Brown.
Hmm.
Smart guy. Even smarter to pick the Coyotes afterwards. Now, this last part gets tricky because it's situational.
Hmm.
But let me double check. Isaiah Ray, I think, is going to be our last end that we're going to hear a name a ton. And the thing we were missing last season was sacks. When we can make pressure, the defense is going to be even more fierce. And we all thought our defense was pretty darn solid last year. Give us a few more sacks, and all of a sudden, it is you can't beat it.
Hmm. Yeah, the defense last year, we've talked about a little bit, didn't force a ton of turnovers, but that's because we weren't creating a lot of pressure, to your point, and pressure is what causes turnovers, right? So,
Absolutely,
um, I think you're right. I think we're going to see from this room, um, and again, we're talking, both interior and an outside D lineman here, but this is the deepest room on the whole roster, in my opinion. I think we
absolutely.
have legitimately, and I know may have our coyote glasses on at times, but there's 10 guys who are going to contribute this year in some way, shape, or form out of this unit. There's too many guys, and we're going to lean on some guys more than others. But I think by the time the season's done, that we will see 10 guys have hit the field in meaningful snaps.
Your number's too low.
It could be. It could be.
So I actually, as you were talking, I started writing this out. I am working on third team, and all of these guys will take snaps.
Yeah.
And I'm curious what Presser will do. He blew out his ACL last season, which sucked, and it was early because he's 6'7",
Hmm.
coming off the edge. Like,
Yep.
how's the quarterback over or throw over that? Then you got Tomaszewski,
Hmm.
tough name to do, but I think I nailed it. You got Jackson Kogel, name being thrown around. One guy I'm really excited for, and we'll move on because we're wasting too much time on each room like I thought we would. A guy I'm excited to watch is Samuel Same. Uh, as he's going to be a rush end. He's a different build than what we're used to on the D line. He's 6'4", which does fit the normal prototype, but he's like 230.
Hmm.
And so what I can see them doing with this guy is a little bit of everything where he'll drop into linebacker spot and feel that if we're running a 4-2-5, he may drop and we may only rush 3. It will be interesting because this dude is that freak list came out by the Athletic.
Hmm.
They didn't do enough research. Samuel Same is probably the biggest freak on this team athletically.
Hmm.
And he won the dunk contest this winter.
That's right. That's right.
So
Fun
I
fact.
Yeah, that was a deep dive because I've guessed him 2 years in a row because I knew RJ was a freak. We actually found him in a gym, not on a football field.
Hmm.
Just a fun fact with that. So we knew he was going to be big time, but I had to give it to Samuel Same this year over RJ. But we'll go ahead and keep rolling because we're going to roll right into the linebacker room.
Hmm.
Our first two, I think we'll fly right off the shelf here. Wade
Yeah.
Abrams and Gabe Hardman. Honestly, it's going to be really interesting to see how this happens because both of them rocked the in-helmet communication from the defensive coordinator last season.
Hmm.
Wade got shaken up in the NDSU game and really couldn't get his season right after that, which I don't blame him. It was a tough injury to come up from. Heck, even the Iowa State game, he left in stitches on his
Hmm.
face. So he battled. But one thing I want to point out that not a lot of people know, he nailed the Saquon Barkley challenge in the weight room. And I need to look up the exact numbers on this. But if I remember correctly, he cleaned over 400 pounds.
Crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So those are two, and they're going to be huge factors come this season. But that third spot is interesting because technically we run a 4-3 defense, but it's going to be one of those hybrid, the stud linebacker that we talked about.
Hmm.
And coach has mentioned it fairly forward, and it's kind of tricky because those names also appear here instead of on the other list.
Yes. Yes.
So for the stud, it's between Kale Colrick. Oh, and I'm drawing a blank on what coach said on the other name. Oh, Ethan Carrier is.
Ethan. Yep. Yep.
Yep.
Ethan Carrier.
Those are the two names to watch in that linebacker role per se. But they are a guy that can get up and stuff the run and drop into coverage. It's huge to have these guys in the size that they are. I'm really excited about what they can bring to this game.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like. Like we said, we're going to intermingle some of these linebackers, secondary guys, depending on what we're doing. But um, this is a group that rock solid with Wade and Gabe,
Hmm.
right? I mean, those two are locks. But this is a room that has a lot of young guys. You can see it here. Tons of
It does.
freshmen and sophomores, redshirt freshmen. So again, a room that you're really looking for somebody to step up. Um, you know, and kind of carve their piece out. Really looking for that. We've heard some good things from coaches about Kane Wallner. I'm excited
Yep.
to see what he can do. Local guy from Canton is always fun. So um,
Absolutely.
definitely want to see what they can do. But we can move
And
it on to the next page because I think there's some names on there that you just mentioned again, but
yes.
that kind of are
Real
going to be in
quick,
the mix as well.
just on the too deep side of things for this room, you already mentioned one in Kane Wallner. That one's a big. I think Bo
Hmm.
Ryan will be a factor as well. But the two I'm really excited to watch and develop is going to be, Lincoln Adams. I mean, you and I fell in love with him at the Mercer game. If it wasn't for him, there's no
That's
goose
right.
egg happening.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
kid was
Unbelievable
all
in the last part of that game.
he played 5 minutes, and I'm pretty sure he ended with like 8 tackles.
Yeah. He was all over the place. He was flying.
Absolutely. But another guy I'm really excited about is QJ Moore out of Lakeland, Florida. Kid's got a bright future, and I think that future starts this season more than next season. All right. Secondary room. Corners. Let's start with corners first. And I think one's for sure easy to throw out there. We got to give it to RJ. Kid came on strong at the end of the season. He was solid all throughout it, but you and I noticed a change in his play come the last, 5-6 games.
Yeah.
UND game actually is what it was.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
really turned the corner. I mean, one of our premier players back from last year, but a guy just, a guy, there's always one that comes onto the scene. No one's talking about him. He was that guy. Got better literally every single game
Yep.
from beginning to end of the season. So really pumped to see what he can do this year as kind of the guy in the secondary. He's going to be our lockdown, always going to be covering number one wide receiver.
Absolutely. I will say this going into January, I was very confident in being able to, pound the chest and say that this was going to be the best, not just corner room in the nation, but the best secondary in the nation. Obviously, then we had some changes happen in the transfer portal. It is what it is, but I'm really pumped about this guy they brought in for our other corner spot in Josh Grant, the Shark.
The Shark. I was just about to say that the Shark. Yes, that's
Let's
another
go.
name we've been hearing a lot about. I think you're right. He's going to be playing on the other side of RJ. A lot of has played a lot of snaps as well, right? So
Yep.
this room you can see a little bit more experience in the secondary room than there is maybe in the linebacker room. Um,
Yes.
but excited to see what Josh Grant can bring.
All right. So with it, then we're gonna get to the set or to the safeties. You got to give it to Timbo. He's so ready to be back and own this defense.
He is. I'm so excited to see what season he's going to have this year. Devastating injury early on. Really, though, as you go through the depth chart, you start to realize what a hard time on injuries USD had in the early part of the season. It's just bananas. And we're talking about huge impact guys, not
Yes.
role player guys. We're talking about guys, captains, right? Tim was a captain last year. So to get him back, I'm so excited for him. I think he's going to play with a vengeance. Um, I could see him finishing as an all conference type player. So I'm really
Absolutely.
really excited for White to be back.
Yes. And then on the other safety side, it does get a little tricky there
Hmm.
on picking out who it's going to be. I like Jaden Brown a ton. He came on. They burned his, well, they didn't know it that it was changing, but they burned his red shirt last season.
Hmm. Yep.
If you want to know how good he was, they only
Yep.
burned his and uh Fletcher's. Yeah, Carson Fletcher's.
Yep.
So if that tells you what's up, but I think he'll be a factor in it. And then, if I remember correctly, Kevin Doddard is also going to be a major factor in that safety room as well. Let's see. I'm just too many
Yeah.
notes here.
Yeah. No, I think you're spot on too. I think to your point, if you're burning a red shirt on a guy, you have that person penciled into your lineup moving forward, right? That's
Absolutely.
a valuable thing to do. Um, the other person that we've kind of talked about a little bit is, uh, and I'm going to butcher the name, but uh, Kale Kolerick.
Kolerick. Yep.
Kolerick, yes, he's another guy that I think we're going to see play a lot of snaps, right? Another guy that's uh, been in the system a long time, or I should say, been around football a long time.
Yep.
Um, he's going to be in the rotation. We're going to ask a lot of guys to be in the rotation, quite frankly,
Yep.
which is the way we kind of play with the secondary. And so, um, definitely think there's going to be an opportunity for a lot of these guys here, and a lot of these guys have some good experience.
Yep. Exactly. Hey, I got one question. If you were going to pull a transfer from the University of Iowa, what side of the ball you want to play him on?
Let me see. Defense would be
And
my preference.
if you really got a chance to pick where he was going to be at,
Yeah, I think you'd want him in the secondary.
oh, hey, I got some great news about Kel Kolerick. No, this depth, they did a fantastic job. I'm also really excited to see what DJ Kennard can do on the corner side of things.
Yep.
But it's wild. Look at Josh Grant, 6'2", and he's going to be playing corner. DJ's 6'3", going to be playing corner. That's some length,
Yeah.
and that will
Yeah.
make life interesting to see if they can keep up with the change of pace and change the direction that you'll see in the Missouri Valley wide receivers.
Yeah, we definitely have a type when it comes to those types of positions. You can see on here a lot of guys' heights where you see 6'3", 6'2", 6'3", 6'2",
Yep.
6'1", not the prototypical small cornerbacks. Those days are kind of numbered. So really like what we have in this group. Like you said, going into the season, we thought maybe this would be the bona fide best group. I still think it's way up there for us
Yep.
from depth and starter position for sure.
Absolutely. And then I'm going to throw one other name out there and we'll move over, but it's going to be Harrison Brunn. Keep an
Mhm.
eye on this kid. I think he's
Yes.
got some potential coming down. So watch that name very closely.
Good call. Good call out for sure. I'm 100% on board with you. I've heard a ton of good things from the coaches around him.
Absolutely. All right. Last but not least, had to do a little changing on this one.
Sneak this one
So
in with the hot off the press news, right?
hot off the press, like I couldn't even change the website in time. And we got to give Austin a hard time for not updating it because I did have to remove one player. Colby Simmons is no longer on the team, which felt really weird for me to find out on day 19 or 19 days till kickoff
Mm-hmm.
because he was number 19. And I started some controversy in the group chat before it was announced.
That's right.
So that was strange. But Buddy Ing is going to be a factor in the kicking game. Now, first and foremost, I'm going to come out and say it is Ford's job to lose, but I think it's something to keep an eye on. If we might have something similar to last season where we had Will kicking short, Zeke kicking long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's going to be a factor or not, but the coaches are going to play who can make it. And if you can make that one consistently, they're going to put you on the field because they want to put the team in the best position to win.
Yeah, no, I think you're right from a kicking standpoint. And for those who don't know, Parks, who was formerly on the roster, left the team, right, which has kind of snowballed all these changes here the last week or so. So,
Oh, I blocked out the wrong name. Yes, it was Sam Parks, not Colby Simmons.
yes, I was gonna
Austin
say.
did update it.
I was just gonna
So
say. I was just looking at the website again, so I was like, I
I
think
messed
you have
up.
the wrong one. No, you're fine. I saw that as
Yep.
well. But yes, to your point, Sam Parks is the
Good
is who
call.
left the team. So those two, from what I understand, were competing at practice. Leads us to believe Ford Hamilton is kind of the guy here at kicker. But as we saw, hot off the press, another
Yes.
capable kicker coming into the room. So more to come on that. We have no idea. He's been on. I mean, he's
He
been
hasn't
with
been
the
on
team for
campus
a
yet.
day. I say he's probably not even Vermilion yet. So more to
Somebody else
come
get
on
his
that.
dorm ready. He needs to go to practice.
Yes, yes. The other
All
one
right.
we've talked about. Coach talked about it, but um, punter Brooke. I'm so
Honore,
Honray, Brooke
I
Honray.
think.
Coach pretty much told us that that job is his. He's a transfer from Cal. We talked about
Yep.
it briefly, I believe, when we were going through transfers, but that seems to be locked in
Wild
right there.
enough, it is his day. We're
16
16.
days. Here it
Yep.
is.
So,
Shout out.
Brooke Honore. I wish we'd have the pronunciations on the roster,
God,
but it is
if
what it is.
Thayer's watching tonight, he's just like, these guys got to get
These
it together.
idiots. And then long snapper, as Grant knows, his most important position on the field always. It's Duncan's job. He's been our starter for the last 2 years. I know he
Mhm,
was for sure last year.
mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Graham some opportunities to try and earn the job, but it's Duncan's.
Yeah, yeah. There's no controversy here. I think it's one of those jobs where if you're executing on it, there's no reason to change it. Uh, no one thinks
Absolutely.
about it until you got to think about it, and we haven't had to think about it recently that I can remember. So Viscum, not Vitsthum.
Fiscum. Yep.
Yep,
Dude,
close.
just to everybody watching live, let me know when I should mute this guy.
That's funny. Come on, that's a good one. It's funny.
So yes, it's all of those. Now, before we flip it over, I want to apologize to Colby Simmons on that. Got your name mixed up. It was Sam Parks. He is no longer on the team. Colby is ready to roll though, as a true freshman. It wouldn't surprise me if he shows up on the punting side as viable option behind Brooke. But that was 103 players, and we categorized all of them. None of them.
I we either categorize all of them or none of them. I have no idea. I'm
No.
I'm just wondering what coach is watching this and just going, "Holy, not even close." Right? There probably
Wow, these
is.
guys.
There's got to be somewhere we're onto something with, but there's got to be somewhere they go, "Oh, they have no idea what you're about to see from boom boom boom." And that's why I love college football because every single year we have multiple players that come out of nowhere. No one knows who they are, and they don't only make impacts, they make superstar impact. We've always had that
Absolutely.
happen at USD, and so I'm just excited to see who that's going to be this year.
Yes. And, I want to remind people, did it, as a whole, did anybody really know who LJ was?
No, perfect example.
Another one. Did anybody know? Geez, now I'm blanking
Who
on it.
RJ was.
What? No,
I said
not RJ.
RJ.
Fenner. Did anybody really know who Lorenzo Fenner was going to be?
Hmm.
Exactly. There's gonna be those names that pop up, and even we're not fully prepared for them. So, just watch the field. Hey, great news. You got nameplates on the back of the jerseys this season. Gonna make life a whole lot easier for you guys to write it down. And I can't wait to get those messages or stop me until after the game and say, wow, you totally missed on that. I'm all for it. Or hey, you know what? I'm okay with a compliment here and there too.
There you go.
Perfect. Well, hey, we're at an hour. All I'm going to say before you leave, like, subscribe, and comment. Let's keep this rolling. We appreciate the heck out of everybody that watches. Last show went over 350 views just on YouTube alone. And we only have like 200 followers on YouTube. So please subscribe on your way out. Outside of that, I think the best way to say it is go Yotes.
Go Yotes.